So
Damn right.
you mentioned that like this album in a way is kind of like closing the circle that was started with the first record. Now, are you alluding to like a chapter of the band kind of being closed with this album, or like what? Can you expand a little bit more on like what you were talking about with that?
Yeah, for sure. I think you know we've been going. Technically, we've been going as a band since like 2010, 2011.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So it's been already quite a journey up until this point. And in a lot of ways, it really does feel like we're back at the beginning of a new chapter, and one big door is closing and another one is opening because, um, yeah, for one, as I mentioned, this Oddworld collective, this unit that is kind of been at the core, or was at the core at the beginning, and has gone through its own kind of internal evolutions, is now sort of back at a very sweet spot. The music is also back at a point where it feels more authentically Ocean Grove and at the core of what Ocean Grove does than it has in kind of a long time as well. I think just by the sheer nature of us having to yeah, move through these evolutions, whether that was by choice or sort of by the circumstance.
Mhm.
We've had to sort of ride this wave out and just kind of see where it would get us to, and just do that with a smile on our face and as best as we could, because a lot of these things were out of our hands. COVID lockdown times, band members sort of leaving by sort of their choice, or all these moments that we had to sort of engage with and sort of adapt to, has meant that we've never really found ourselves arriving again at that moment. We maybe had that moment when things were sort of starting out, and we first signed our record deal, and we were putting out our first album, sort of like, okay, sweet, like all the pieces have come together, and here we are, we're finally doing this thing, this feels great.
Yeah.
But sort of since that moment, 2016, 2017, it feels like there's been a lot of turbulence and a lot of like questions and answers to sort of find. And now we find ourselves being like, okay, that is all resolved, and that circle is kind of, that chapter is closing, because we found the answers to a lot of those questions. We found that with this album and creating Oddworld, it's like, this is our stamp, this is our legacy moving forward. This is the Ocean Grove signature sound defining record. So from this point forward, no matter what we do, this is the reference point. Everything before that was us building up to this moment. It was us finding ourselves as a unit, as individuals, as artists, and creating this odd world. And now that we have it, it's like, okay, we can take that and like run with it. But this is the inception moment. Like, Ocean Grove has arrived, and
Yeah.
that feels really exciting. To have
Yeah.
like a rebirth moment and chapter. So
Gotcha. So with that being said, saying that like this is kind of the quintessential record in a way, like this is the sound defining album for the band. How are you feeling going into putting it out? I mean, we're just about a month out. Are you feeling anxious? Are you feeling excited? Like what are you feeling now, having said that?
I'm so excited. I really am so excited. Every music release is exciting, and it's such a unique joy that I wish everyone could experience. But I'm especially looking forward to this album being out, because I don't like to anticipate too much, but I'm really anticipating just a response from people that will be, I guess, an unexpected joy and surprise from people that like, this is what we're presenting. I obviously we've given away hints of what the album's going to be like with the singles so far. But I think as a whole, there was probably a lot of people out there that maybe didn't expect us to put an album out like this ever again.
Mhm.
and to sort of venture into these territories sonically ever again. And so to kind of flip that script and to do the unexpected is very much an Ocean Grove thing.
Yeah.
And going off the feedback so far, I'm just really anticipating that like unexpected joy from people to kind of be like, wow, I didn't know that this was coming. I didn't know that I needed this, but like I got it, and I'm really stoked on that. And I'm just super proud of what we've created, and I can't wait to go out and play a lot of these songs live, because I think it's really going to transform our live set in a way where we already know like, oh, that song will kind of replace that song, and that song will replace that song, and can't wait to sort of feel what that feels like to be on stage playing, you know, that as a collective of songs. It just feels really refreshing at a time when I think we all kind of just really need it, like just that reburst of energy and inspiration. And so obviously there's going to be a varied response from people, and there'll be people out there that maybe, you know, don't dig it at all, and that's fine. But for the most part, it's not really the good or bad that I'm after. It's more so like it's the fact that we've just done this album to begin with, and we've put this album out there. For me, like that's just all the achievement that I could hope for, because as I said, this is that legacy kind of moment that I am really proud of, that I know that we can look back at this album no matter what happens beyond this point and be like, that is something that represents us wholly as a band. It's something that I think represents how far we've come as musicians and just as a group. And I think as fans, it's something that our followers can be super proud of as well, because they've watched and been there for this whole journey, and it just feels like that the perfect way to kind of capture everything that's been and everything that is going to be is like happening in this moment. So to sum that all up, it just was like from November 22 when this album drops, something inside me just tells me that everything is like about to change, and I really hope for the better. But no matter what, like it just feels like probably the most significant moment in the Ocean Grove lore. Which is just like that gives me chills, you know. I'm like, wow, like we've been going for so long, but this could be the moment that like things really pivot in a way that's like I don't know what to expect from that point. So bring it on.
That's really
Damn
exciting.
right, bring it on.